Right, hey guys, welcome into episode 8 of the APEX Community Webcast. My name is FLYAPEX FPV. I'm joined as always by my good friend Asylum FPV. How is it going?
Good, mate. Yourself, and hi to the rest of the APEX community. What's going on, people?
How's it going, APEX fam?
Yeah.
Started doing stupid intros on all my videos now. I'm going to keep that up.
Hey, they're awesome, man. I'm not complaining. They're good. They're interactive.
I've got to get some. I got to get some funnier, stupid ideas. I don't know, like throwing myself in front of the camera or something. I don't know. I will figure it out. I'll be the next.
Just keep drinking coffee, man.
Yeah, I'll be the
Just keep
PewDiePie of the
drinking
drone
coffee,
world.
coffee episode. Look. That's it. Why not? Get in there. Stick your finger in the PowerPoint if it works. Hey. But I think for the APEX community this month, we were supposed to have a special guest on. We're supposed to have DCL Filippo on, but as you can imagine, or if you don't know, he's got some big family news in the mix, so we'll wait for his big announcement, and what we can say is congratulations to my friend, and hopefully we'll catch up and have him on at some time soon. But the massive news this month coming out of the APEX community is APEX pulling out of the DCL for the 2021 season. Now,
I know.
Big shock. I was floored for many days, to be completely honest. I didn't know, because
you took it hard,
all
man.
Geared up, ready to go. I was gutted. Okay, I'm going to put it out there.
I felt worse for you than I did the other pilots. I was like, Asylum, poor Asylum.
Oh no, I was. Do you know what was really funny is that we've got a couple of videos coming up later in this episode from Nürburgring Bird FPV and Nitro FPV. So definitely hang around, guys. Check them out later in the show. But I was talking to Nitro, and Nitro's like, now this rumor about APEX not being in the DCL this year, can you confirm? And I was very much like, I'm going to wait for the official line on that one, my friend, because we don't know yet. And then I went back and really did pique my interest, and I went back and checked the APEX comms, and unfortunately, the guys at APEX have made the extremely hard decision to pull out of this year's DCL comp, which, as I said, as a fan and as part of the APEX community, I'm absolutely gutted to hear that. But I've got to give it to them. They've made a very hard decision in a very extremely hard global position to stay true to their in real life flying and what they stand for as a brand and as a company. So, as I said, I'm very gutted not to see them on track this year. But it's kudos to them for actually standing up and going, you know what, we're going to take a breath. We're going to concentrate on what we are all about as a team, and we're going to move on and soldier on from there. So, you know what, I'm actually, hurts me to say it, but I'm very proud of them, and congratulations to the guys for making that decision. And I'm really hoping that we see them back next year on track and firing as fast as they can and taking it back to X-Blades. But
yeah, exactly.
What that actually means for the APEX pilots, I think, is going to be the interesting one, and see how that plays out. Being the fact that the guys have pretty much all been told if another team wants to pick them up for the season, they can go over and check that out. So hopefully we can still see the guys on track and racing around.
I don't doubt for a minute that we aren't going to see the APEX guys representing for some other teams. I mean, I've seen them already, because obviously DCL at the moment having the draft, you know, you can see that the guys are setting times on there. Funnily enough, actual pilots that are already signed to teams are already kind of putting laps in on theirs, taking spots away from people like me, who's struggling around like P90. but no, like I can see the guys on there. They're fast. Keepy, man. The streams over the last couple of weeks, consistently pushing for #1 every week, teams and solos. Like, the guy is on fire. If another team doesn't pick these guys up for the sim racing this year, they'd be absolutely crazy. So I don't doubt for a second that we're still going to see the guys. The personalities are still going to be there. The GGs from Andreas, you know, all that kind of stuff. We're still going to see that, and I'm like you say, I'm proud of APEX for making this decision. It's not an easy decision. DCL is a big platform for us and for the team, but as you said, you got to stay true to your kind of your core beliefs of in real life flying, taking FPV out to the community, but also I think that focus on IRL racing over sim is hopefully going to pay dividends when it comes to 2022, because that again, DCL's moving in that hybrid direction, so we'll still have the sim racing. So it's good to have the guys still competing in that, because you know you get the sim stick time in. You need that for qualifying anyway at the real life races, but hopefully we'll get an advantage when it comes to the real life stuff, because the guys will have been flying an awful lot more real life races, and that's got to be the goal, hasn't it? We've been second place like 2 seasons now. You've got to take the fight to X-Blades, and the best place to do that is going to be in the skies. You know, that's where we want to see the kind of real progress on the track, winning the real life rounds. Because it's great winning a sim race, but you can't beat spraying the champagne on top of the podium, big crowds. Like that's the cool thing, isn't it? Like that's 2022. Take my money.
Oh, please, seriously, and I hope this gives them time. As being a technology based and progressing the technology of FPV and stuff like that. The guys. So I hope this gives them an awesome opportunity to actually really nut down and get this organised and come back in real life fighting so hard. While everybody's off concentrating on the DCL and sims and stuff like that, I really hope that they can hit the skies, the real skies, all blazing, seriously, because that will be an absolutely feather in their cap, and it'll pay dividends for the fact that they had to make this hard decision this year.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have no doubt it was a very, very difficult decision, because like I say, it's a big platform and it's a lot of fun. It's a great community to engage with. We will still be there. We're still going to be hanging around. We're still going to be following the DCL. We're still going to be in the Twitch chat with everyone at the races, you know. But at the same time, it's
trying to get Matt to sing again.
Yeah, sing, Matt, sing. Was it Long Cat Take My Energy? But
that's it.
You know, I think as well, it's an opportunity to branch out. You know, and I think we will certainly try and do that as well. We'll try and push some content. I know we're very DCL focused, but you know,
very APEX focused.
Very, very APEX focused, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? We follow the APEX kind of route, so you know we'll still be doing the track guides and everything else. But I think it'll be fun. We can shake things up a little bit. Maybe look at a few different kind of areas of drone racing, specifically. And you know, if APEX are looking at maybe putting on some events and things like that, we can get the coverage from those. And I think it's going to be a good opportunity to kind of take a step back, take a breath, like you said, and just kind of explore everything else. You know, especially
about other opportunities that are out there, because we, as you say, we have been quite focused on whatever else, but at the same time, you've got DRL happening, you've got Velocidrone going on, you've got IRL liftoff community going on, and not just that, there are still in small pockets of the world, there is in real life racing going on.
We had multi-GP mayhem the other week. You know, the 12 hours. I watched so much of that on stream. It was nuts. Absolutely awesome. It was incredible. Just like the logistics behind flying drones consistently for 12 hours. How many batteries? Seriously. But this is it.
It's how they would be running their hands together, going, right, this production for the next 18 months.
For sure.
They would be just going, cha-ching.
He must have literally had like a truck full of 6S lipos. Like the charging stations must have been on fire. It was mad. It was incredible to see, you know, guys flying consistently. You know, props to Heads Up. You know, Evan. You know, DCL pilot for Quad Force 1, and you know, I think Alex was there as well, and we saw Vanover. I mean, it was just full of like drone celebs. I don't know if like. I forget, was it Joshua Bardwell said he was going to head down? I love that about America. Like they've just got that community spirit, and even in these kind of difficult, socially distanced times, you can still put on events like that and kind of abide by the rules and kind of, you know, you can still have fun. You can still race in real life, and I appreciate something like DCL. It's difficult because the idea is you're drawing in a crowd, aren't you? You're kind of holding an event at a place, and you want an audience. the more
And I think
private
Europe's-
stuff, the indoor leagues, the Iberian League, that kind of stuff, where it's a lot more about the
More other stuff
coverage.
that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to say they're not getting the coverage and whatever else, but at the same time, they're going back to roots almost. And I think that's where APEX is like, well, we're going to go back to our
Grassroots.
roots and concentrate on that, because you don't need mass numbers to still get people involved and people flying and people interested in the hobby and the sport, you know. And
That's the APEX slant, isn't it? Getting people involved.
Correct,
And,
yeah.
you know, the grassroots stuff. And I think I have no doubt that the guys will be out there spreading the word, and that will draw fans into the team, but also into DRL for DCL for 2022. You know, when they come back, because you're expanding the fan base by going out to people and going, hey, you know this exists, right? You know, and that's such a key thing, especially in Europe. You know, America's fine. I mean, there's a massive FPV community, but Europe, I find, there's a lot more pockets of people that might not necessarily know that there's a racing league, or there's a, you know, you look at Gundren we were talking about the other week, and he's got to drive so many miles just to go to the nearest race, or you know, that
Australia's very much the same. And it's taken me a long time to even tap into the Australian type of scene, and we're very much the same as Europe. I think we're very isolated and pocketed and very, you know, we're doing our own little thing. But trying to get everybody together for a big event and whatever else is a lot harder. You know, either because of, you know, social distancing, numbers at events, or just sheer distance, volume and distance, and whatever else, or, you know, the fact that everyone's spread out so far, because it still is quite a small hobby, really. So but if we can get that groundswell over the next 12 months, you know, there's people still grinding hard in the DCL draft, which is on. So just a quick reminder, everyone, get on that if you haven't already.
Get on it.
You've got 20 days. I think we've got 20 days today, 20 days until the draft finished. So get on there, get cracking. Doesn't matter if you've got a controller or a PS controller or an Xbox controller or a radio. Get on it. And
still a chance to be picked up by a team. There's 200 slots, I think, on Steam, 50 on PlayStation, 50 on Xbox. It's a 4-track event. The tracks are all they're all tracks from last year's championship, actually. Prop Town, you know, those kind of tracks. Really fun tracks, really technical. Actually, while we're talking about it, we do have on the APEX Community channel, where you are watching this now, we'll leave a link below, reminder for me in post when I'm editing this, to the track guides. We've got a playlist that I've put together with the 4 track guides for the four tracks. So if you're looking to improve your times on a particular track, there is a playlist. We've got your back. So yeah, check that out. Hopefully it helps, and good luck to you guys in the taking part in the draft, because it's a lot of fun. It's an interesting format this year as well. I've noticed it's a little bit different to the ones we've seen in the past, maybe.
It definitely is this year, and I think it's funny because there's still a lot of guys in there that have been racing for the last 12 months. There's still a lot in the top 10, especially. There's a lot of guys that are, like, Zish is up there again, at least on PS. I don't know what the Xbox guys are like, but I'm sure that they'll be very similar with a lot of the Cyclone guys and stuff like that.
Man a flight. Zish needs a PC. Get him on a team.
I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm going to give you the heads up now. If I somehow get into doing my draft video again, like we did last year, I am going to push that man. I'm actually going to use it to push that man to get into a team.
So
I swear to God, even if some miracle actually happens, right, and I get into the top 10, I got to admit I'm not too bad at the minute. I'm kind of happy with that.
You're lit for a controller guy. I'll give you that, man. Jeez.
Hey, look, I've got to admit, like, now that they've removed the dead zones out of the controller and I've actually done that, I'm actually really happy with it. It feels a lot faster and time's coming down, so that's good. But my point is that even if in my video and somebody comes along, it's going to be, okay, I'm only going to take a spot unless Zish has already got a spot. Because I just don't understand. The guy has been so consistent the same. And no disrespect to anybody else that's flying on console, or at least PS. Everybody's amazing, everybody's great, and everyone's been grinding hard. But please, DCL, give Zish a spot, or at least give him a damn good chance, because he's an awesome dude. he's so generous, and with his time and his knowledge and his just helping everybody out in general.
The
guy
guy
should be, and he's like in times.
He would be such an asset to any team. I can't stress it enough. The guy is just so nice.
Yeah.
You know,
and his lap times reflect his quality in racing. Like, for God's sake, come on.
It's mad. It's funny because, you know, I think
well, I'm not going to push it hard, but
as a team, you're not necessarily just looking for fast lap times. Like you want someone that's going to engage with the community. They're going to push your brand as a team. They're gonna give a good interview. Just be a genuinely decent, upstanding member of the FPV community. I can't think of anyone I know in the community that is more of that than Zeesh. Whether we need to look at
pressure.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have pressure. Okay, pressure. I can't not pressure.
I can't say nothing. But and Nitro and Lil and everybody else. Yeah,
but in terms of guys that I feel hard done by on behalf of.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, we need, even if
I don't know anybody that wouldn't agree with us.
Are we need to set up like a GoFundMe, or I'll do like an OnlyFans or something and put my content up and any earnings put them towards a PC for Zeesh. The guy needs to be on a team. Please. Yeah.
And he's like, look, if nothing else, his lap times have been immaculate week in, week out. And you know what? Please, just give the man a chance. Talk to the man. Talk to the man, check his laps. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. Seeing as we're not necessarily DCL affiliated for this year, I'm quite happy to recommend Zeesh. if you're looking...
I'm just going to put my stamp on it, right? Zeesh, done.
The seal of approval!
You know what I mean? That's it.
This is it. I think, you know, any team would be incredibly wise to look at console leaderboards, and I know we've pushed it before. I think it's an untapped mine of potential, and I think teams would benefit greatly from that, because other teams might not be looking at console leaderboards with any kind of real like, you know, someone comes in
seriousness.
Let's have a look at this. Wow, okay, these times are pretty good. Let's allow a second or two for FPS on a console.
Yeah.
You could have the next Andreas. You could have the next Keepy. Like,
I know. But do you know what was funny though? Because I was only in the Discord chat for the DCL Discord chat just before, and I saw a post from Pressure FPV saying that the game's actually only limited to 144 frames per second. So, if that's all we're talking, now don't get me wrong, there's still a massive leap between console and PC.
Over twice what I heard. It was like 4 times what I used to get on my PS4.
But if the game is only limited to that, it's not like, you know, you're running 60 or 80 on a PS and then all of a sudden you're jumping to 300 on a console, on a PC. Yeah. So really, you're only kind of doubling it, and I'm sure that people all adapt. It's the same as, I know we were talking before about, you know, people controllers versus, you know, radios and stuff like that. You get used to what you get used to. And
you do. You fly what you know.
You fly what you know, and you compensate, you know, and if you're competitive, you can be competitive with those variants and still do something awesome.
It's that human, that human PID loop thing that Pressure was talking about, with the kind of like eyes to the brain, to the motor sense, to the controller, to the twitch fibers, to that loop. You learn and you pick it up. And I mean, going from PS4 to PC was very my times weren't as competitive at first, because I'm still used to flying in whatever it was, like 30 frames a second on my TV. But I was used to that. And coming onto PC, it took me a couple of weeks to find a groove, you know. But now, you know, that was a really difficult time for me when I was flying for both alpha teams. You know, we'd set up the team on PC and we had the team on PS4. I gravitated more to the PC because I found going back to the PS4 every time, I was losing seconds on those tracks, because if anything, it was better for me to play it on the PS4 first and kind of get that out the way and then move to the PC, because coming from PC and going back to the PS4, it was like
Yeah, no,
my eyes couldn't keep up with the frame rate and the drop in frames. So, but I think, you know, it would, we always say it would be super interesting to see some of the times that these guys could set given a PC. And I think it's a shame again this year we can't have another IRL draft, because obviously the IRL draft, it doesn't matter if you're flying on console and you qualify. If you've qualified and you're at the IRL draft, you're going to be flying on a PC. Simple.
Yep.
So
yeah, and that was always a good point, that all of a sudden you're flying in real life, and then you can take that variance out of it. You can take that system, or that, you know, all those variations throughout the window, and it's level playing field. Yeah, and that was great. So yeah, and that's the thing, and it's good that even DCL turned around and said, right, well, we know that there's a a percentage dead zone for people that are using console controllers, and they've been able to take that out, which is great. I know it's helped me a lot, and I'm going to have to pull back on a couple of other things where I've halved the dead zone, but the problem is that it's gotten too twitchy, so I'm going to have to go back and do my rates and stuff like that. So I don't think I really want to do that right in the middle of the draft. Do you know what I mean? Like, the throttle dead zone being removed, that is awesome. I picked up time on that, and you can feel it big time.
I bet.
But then turning around and taking it out of all your other axes, it's a bit too twitchy at the moment without, as I said, changing the rest of your rates and everything like that. So, correct. So I'm not going to do that in the middle of the DCL
Fly what
draft.
you know. Fly what you know.
Correct. And you know what? Even by halving the rest of the axes, God damn it, I can't even speak tonight.
Multiples.
Even by, I know. See, I'm still drinking them. I still want that wind tunnel for Glenn. All right, Glenn, if you're watching, I'm still funding the damn wind tunnel. And go and see Rafn, because he's obviously. Oh no, naughty.
I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that. I didn't even notice it in the background.
Good old lockdown.
Love it.
Keep it Monster Energy.
You just gotta go, like, block it out a little bit with your head.
Monster Energy, you know, if you want to sponsor something cool, just saying. Monster Energy, they're big into esports. They're big into the kind of extreme stuff. Anyway,
extreme esports.
But no, draft.
Back on point.
Draft is interesting this year, because we're doing the format whereby, I mean, I missed draft the first time round last year, but what I understand is that it's the same format as it was then. So you've got your tracks, and you set your times on those tracks, and then what will happen is, I think the top 200 on Steam, the top 50 on Xbox, top 50 on PS4 will be I think you obviously you have your profile on there and you've put your email address in. DCL, I understand, are going to send out a code to those emails of those people that qualify for draft, and you will have that limited time. Is it 24 hours for that specific draft track?
Hours.
Yeah, which understandable. I imagine it's going to be one of those things where it's all that kind of hush hush DCL. Can't talk about this, you know, you've got 24 hours, no streaming of that track, no talking about the track, you are on the track and you fly that until DCL say that you're allowed to. So for the love of God,
and then
abide by that, because if I know some of you guys like to stream and whatever else, but don't do it. Don't be tempted to stream that.
Just make sure you read that email, because if it's anything like last year's, it did actually say no streaming, no talking about it, no communications, whatever else. If you find out about it, you're out. And
don't
this year,
even think about it.
It's funny. No, don't. Just seriously, we all get it, and we're all going to be in the same boat, and we're all going to love to be talking about it within this community.
I'm going to do a track guide for that track. Absolutely. I'm going to say I'm going to have 24-hour access, and I'm going to go, hey everyone, we're on this track. I'm not going to stream that. I'm not going to post that on YouTube or anything.
Can we get Keith to do it, or can we get Andreas to do it?
You know what? I had an incredible idea.
They may not even get the draft that's already in, but that could be interesting if they did.
I was filming the track guides for this week, which I haven't put up yet. I did them last night. I've been super busy, and I apologise profusely in those videos for not having got them up faster. But I've done them, and they'll be up while we're recording this. I'm going to throw them up today. Cool. At the end of the team trials track, right? I've noticed that my Tyrannus, I hadn't calibrated it in a little while, and it was pulling me left on the roll. And I'd been countering that without even realizing for the entire video. And it got me thinking, right? Keepy loves to stream. He loves his crazy, wacky, like, pay your points to have an air horn sound at him in the middle of a lap. That kind of stuff. Get your oohs in chat and everything. Like, it's such a good stream, right? Here's an idea. How about calibrating your controller or your radio completely incorrectly and then flying a competitive lap? And we have a competition.
You invert the whole lot and then try and fly a lap.
That's
the whole
horrible.
Lot.
I wouldn't wish inverted on anyone. I'm talking about like fiddling with the sticks and not calibrating. No, don't invert it. Like, just flying the damn thing upside down, like, whoa.
Oh, great. You can do it even now because you'll probably go and just do that.
I bet Andreas probably already has.
Halfway through the stream, after just flying, and just go, you know what? Now it's inversion time, and then he has to invert, and then he has to fly and invert it. That'll just muck with your head.
Pay 2,000 bits to fly with the controller upside down.
Absolutely, why not? That'd be awesome.
I think I like the idea of the calibration thing. So your stick is like one kind of half a little tweak to the right is full yaw, and then maybe the left is like most of the way. So you're kind of I just thought it'd be kind of
like compensate on the fly.
I might try it on my stream at some point. I'm gonna start. Obviously, we're not.
Well, look what you already had.
Apparently, I already did. But I think because APEX now not specifically affiliated with DCL, I think its scope certainly for me. I'm gonna look at streaming some more different sims. I think would be good fun. So I'm going to take the opportunity to kind of mess with things a little bit. You know, I'm going to stream a little bit more. I'm not going to be stepping on people's toes within the team who are trying to kind of push ahead and stream like that. If they're streaming DCL, I'll go stream DRL. I'll go stream Velocidrone, something like that. But I'll stream a bit more often. I want to think of some weird and wonderful, funny things. Actually, if you guys have got any suggestions below.
Drop them.
Always below, you know, and I'm sure Keepy will probably see this and he'll be all like, oh yeah, okay, I like the idea. Stupid calibration. Let's do that. Yeah, man.
All of a sudden, mid-flight, you know, it's going to be like, turn all the lights out in Keepy's house.
Turn his monitor off. You have to fly with no monitor.
For like 30 seconds or something. Yeah, try and do it for like 5 seconds and see if you can stay on track or something. I don't know, there's heaps of ideas.
There's scope for some stupid stuff.
Oh, big time.
Anyway.
Big time.
DCL also announced in between the last video and this video, Women's Cup.
Yep.
How
Women's
sick
Cup.
Is that, man? I didn't see that coming, and then all of a sudden, Lil was like, "Oh yeah, you know, we've been talking about this idea for ages. I just couldn't tell anyone." I'm like, "What?"
I'm like, "Lil,
this is a great idea."
Like, don't get me wrong, I get it again. It would be the same type of disclaimer as your drafting. I'm like, "Oh, Lil."
But it's so sick because suddenly we got Mako's like reactors kind of posting videos the whole time. We got Rue, like Lil obviously has been a big proponent for a very long time now.
Lil's been on for the last 12 months. We've got Lexi's doing laps.
Lexi as well, yeah. Because Lex has always been big into Velocidrone. I think I've seen Lex streaming a lot of stuff on that, and she's been doing her kind of like tutorial videos on kind of get good. You know, learn to pre-turn, learn to kind of full throttle, all that kind of stuff, and that's cool. It's great to see Lex in DCL now. Obviously, she is a big part of APEX at the very outset, wasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she was already all over that to start with. But I think with time restraints and everything else and other commitments she had going on, I think it was just wasn't part of it. And with all the stuff that went on early last year in Europe and whatever else, it was really weird and crazy time. So. Yeah, it's good to see all the ladies are back on the track, and they're all ripping around hard. So good luck to every one of them. I hope that it all plays out rather well.
Absolutely, and I think the other thing is it's really shown how many female competitors there are on the leaderboards already. That you just don't know, do you? Everyone's just a username at the end of the day. But it's great to see these. It's great to see that they're really getting the attention that they deserve. Because I mean, some of the lap times. I mean, I was watching some of Rue's videos the other day. I was like, whoa, crazy good, like competitive. Because obviously she flew in VRL, I think, Velocidrone. She's been flying in that. Insane pilot. Like that's going to be such a competitive league, and obviously they released the format, I think, for the races today, or yesterday. Seven pilots, one from each team, and it's big heats all day.
Yeah.
And there's going to be 4 big heats.
Just on it.
Throughout the day, because obviously the DCL streams are like 7 hours long. I mean, it's a long old race day. There's an awful lot of stuff going on. Brilliant. You're going to sit down, chuck it on, and just sit back, kick back, and relax. Get your Red Bull, get your coffee, get your Monster Energy, and it's going to be great because it'll break up the rest of the racing as well. It's not just going to be the 1v1s or the 2v2s or the kind of big. It's going to be 7 drones, big heat, 4 times throughout the day, and whoever gets the most wins, the most points at the end of the day is the winner for that particular round. And I love that. I think it's a great idea, and it's brilliant to really push for the exposure of and to push for inclusion, because
absolutely
FPV is about everyone. I don't think I have never been in a community that just doesn't care about gender, skin color, whatever. All I care about is, dude, is your footy good? How good's the footy, man? Like, that's all I want to see. How smooth, how buttery is that flow state?
Did you break something today? Did you actually come back with all your gear? And what's the footy like?
Nobody cares who's behind the goggles.
Absolutely not. And no one cares about your gender or your thoughts on things.
What props have you got? You're more likely to be looked down on for using race props on a freestyle rig than you are for anything else.
Really?
I don't think so. I think people will be like,
you're probably going to be more like
you're using,
look down if you're not
using that run.
You're using like it's an what? What? VTX? Yeah.
But I love that. I love the fact that people are more like touchy about gear than they are about who the pilots are. I love that. I think it's great. It's a fantastic community to be a part of, and it's amazing to see that DCL have actually gone out and done that. I think that's an absolute genius move, and I'm so excited for it. I really am.
Yeah.
And I want to see who signs them.
Oh, absolutely, and I hope everybody has a fair crack at it and gets onto it and gets some awesome lap times in, and that the best pilots, male, female, indifferent, whatever else on this planet, can turn around and get into a team and have just as many rights, opportunities, and everything else as everyone else.
Exactly.
So, but I've got to admit, us at Alpha have been awfully spoiled because one of our founding members is Lil, and Lil rocks. Just send it, Lil, get it out there and grind it, and massive love to Lil because we love you.
Yeah,
make sure you get out there.
Really want to see Lil do well.
Oh, absolutely. She's been in it from day one, and massive props to her. So
and
rock on, Lil. And
she mentioned earlier this week she's because obviously Lil, very big proponent of console flight and the PS4 version of the game. She did say to us earlier this week that she's looking into the possibility of being able to fly from a local gaming cafe that they've got out there, a little internet cafe. So that would be an absolute masterstroke if Lil can pull that off, because I think we'll get her into Alpha FPS and we'll just let her go. And I don't think for a minute that she's not going to be pushing Quad Killer, myself, Shreds. She's going to give us a run for our money, dude. Because Lil was fast on PS4. She beat me a good couple of times on that. And the move over to high FPS, low latency, all that good stuff. Lil's going to slay, man. I mean, she's already got to be one of the top picks for any team, surely.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that because Alpha affiliation. I'm saying that because I had my butt kicked so many times.
Honestly, guys, just definitely go and check out Lilithium on YouTube, and you'll know what we're talking about. Or just have a quick flick through her Instagram, because you'll know very quickly that
she's the real
Lil
deal.
is 100% FPV. Full stop.
bleeds
Right.
lipos.
Leeds lipo, yeah, and smashing props on a daily basis. So
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
You
massive.
blew a prop on.
It exploded. What?
That's terrible.
What the hell?
They didn't even over talk it or anything. It just exploded. But then
Nah.
Lil flies hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's definitely no two ways around that. And she's, as I said, she's out there every day. You know, so
I'm
stuff's
so
gonna wear
jealous.
faster than everybody else. Oh,
I'm
tell
so
me about
jealous of Lil. Like, obviously, Lil lives in a near an Air Force base, I think. So it's kind of like a bit touch and go as to where she can fly. But she just seems to find these spots, man. And I've had glorious weather for the last couple of weeks with 30, 40 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
And I'm sat here going, Lil's flying again.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah.
I have to live vicariously through other people at the moment. I'm like, I might even look at maybe putting some footage on an SD card, putting my goggles on, and just watching other people's DVR, like just pretending it's.
I'll send you a Hollywood. I'll send you some Hollywood B-roll, mate, and we can all do a community pool. We'll get some, fresh air food. We'll get some wall, and we'll just, keep the vibe going.
I'll just be there like, yes, I remember this. This is so good. Oh man.
Things we do for the brush, I tell you.
It's driving me
insane. Trying to keep our flow going. Oh, dude. But the other good thing that we've got going on over the APEX community is that we finally have our APEX community merch store. So you can definitely go over there. We'll leave it down below as per normal with the rest of our links in our lovely show. In there you will find APEX community supporter t-shirts, hoodies, and a whole heap of other range of stuff. You will find Alpha Prop merchandise in there, which is absolutely awesome. The team's been asking for it. We have now got it. You'll also find, I know, you'll find Feisar FLYAPEX t-shirts and mouse mats, and I know, look at that!
No
You got your
way!
own merch line now, my friend. Yes, you got your own merch line in there.
it!
Yes, get excited.
I'm successful at something.
That's it. Yeah, when somebody buys it, then it's just gonna be like, yes, now I've made it.
Whoa.
You only make one sale, and it's to you.
See someone
it'll
repping
be
like
just
a
to you. And,
Feisar tee somewhere, I'll be like, wow, where's that?
I know. I'm never going to actually run into it. But thanks for the support. And you'll also find Asylum and FPV stuff. So go and check it out. It helps us support the channel. The APEX supporter range also helps APEX. All the funds raised from there goes to there. The Alpha Prop ones will go into supporting Alpha Prop and all the work that everyone else is doing and the greater FPV community. Same with all of us. So we keep bringing you content and keep racing.
Push to, as well, the Alpha Prop stuff is really, I think, it's going to help us in terms of community-led content. Things like the streams. I mean, we are largely E-based, aren't we, at the moment? Certainly, and I think it's going to continue that way because I can't go down there. Even when restrictions are lifted, I can't jump in the car and go down to see you because you live the other side of the world. so
And don't get me wrong, I'd go jump in a plane and head your way, my friend, but it's too much. Nah, it's not going to happen.
But this is the thing.
Unfortunately, at this point in time, it's tough.
So proceeds from the merch, like you say, the community stuff, that's going to help fund APEX generally. Obviously, those guys, they need the support of the community to go out and race, and the sponsorships, things like that are all good, but bit of extra cash goes a long way. A couple of ECUs, ESCs, all that kind of stuff. And likewise for us, don't think that you guys are just going to be paying a random salary, something like that. If you do buy any merch, it's going to go straight back into the channel. So take a look. Asylum spent a long time putting that stuff together. Damn it. We had all kinds of problems getting the logos to fit on stuff.
I'm not that talented. Logos. That was my whole nightmare for quite a while, trying to get it all right. But I hope you like it. Definitely check it out, guys, and support us and support the channel and support APEX. So, but you can still definitely find your APEX racewear at apexracing.com.
They have the coolest logo of all of the teams. They have the best logo. And you got the cool. You get the cool back logo as well. Like, how cool is that?
I know.
It's the best.
That is lovely. That is definitely thinking outside the square. Yes, and you wear it so well, Shane.
I know. You don't have to tell me.
That's why you're our model. That's why I'm not.
That's why you were in the PlayStation
Graced
shirt.
with the present.
They
Yeah, I
haven't,
know,
they
right?
haven't, they haven't sent you one because they're just like, nah, Shane wears it too well. We wouldn't want to.
We don't want to sully the brand on you. So I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's definitely check it out, guys, and definitely check out apexracing.com for all the live events, merch, and the Apex Drone Academy. But that kind of brings me to another thought that I've heard rumoring on the rumor mill through DCL and a few other different places at the moment: the addition of another team. With the lack of Apex being in there, I'm hearing a rumor that possibly SDR may be coming into the mix. So if the Spanish drone racing team wiggles their way in there, does that mean Singularity is going to be back on DCL? So I think we might have to keep an eye on this one and maybe have to touch in on.
Yeah, because obviously Marc Racing in it, SDR for the IDL, Iberian Drone. Is it IDL? IDR? I can't remember. I can never remember. But
yeah, IDL.
Yeah, and but I'm kind of like, I'm hoping if the guys are racing for other teams, they'll try and sneak an Apex logo somewhere onto their shirts. I don't want to see Andreas in a Quad Force 1 shirt. I want to see Andreas, and I don't doubt for a second that he'll sneak something in. So there'll be an Apex drone in the background of his live feed or something.
He'll be flying with one hand, and you'll just see his logo come up and then come back down.
That'll just be the GG sign will have like a big Apex, the stripes in the background or something. Yeah. I hope the guys still keep repping the brand. Just sneak it in, subtle.
Well, they still are going to be doing DCL content and working with DCL if DCL want them. So they have been.
They've been given that grace for the year, because I know the guys really enjoy it, and I think it's a big key important part, isn't it? Because it's a hybrid season from now on. Obviously, this hybrid season is going to be a little more esports, but 2022 is going to be esports and real life the whole way through. Pandemic permitting.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I just hope that I think at the moment it's just kind of a balancing game between what they can do and what they can't. So I'm hoping that at some point they hit 50-50, but we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just take it as it comes, and hopefully Apex is in it once again. Yeah,
this year we're looking at one IRL race, I think, aren't we? Which, as far as I'm aware, has yet to be confirmed as to where it will be. But certainly the DCL posts they've been putting up, I think we've got. Allow me to consult the Instagram, because they updated.
I think we've got four now.
Yeah, they updated the other day with.
Got Poptown Lats. They updated another one today, so I think we're down to 4 confirmed tracks, I believe.
We have. So round 1 is Proptown. Round 2 is now Rouette.
Yep.
Which is interesting because we've not seen a competitive track at Rouette yet, have we?
No.
Obviously, they flew there in real life, but we haven't seen a race held at Rouette, which I think is fascinating. Great Wall of China, that new track. If you haven't already, update your damn games, because patch 1.04 is live, and it's so good. It's very, very difficult, and you will throw your controller when you fly ping pong. But no, those new tracks are amazing. They're really good, and hats off to Filippo and the team for that. Seriously good. So I'll be interested to see what they do with that Great Wall of China map. Oil Bando USA, we're going there. We didn't go there last year, so that's another new one. And then Lax as well, which I love. I know Nate from my Twitch streams, not a big fan of Lax, but really? I am. I don't know why Nate doesn't like it. We just got a bit sick of it.
I'm not a massive fan. I haven't been a massive fan of Oil Bando until recently, and I know a lot of people love that. So
I don't like Oil Bando.
I suppose.
Freestyle Oil Bando, fantastic. Racing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Every time I see it, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna hit poles.
Oh yeah, you see Oil Bando and then Pressure FPV, and I'm like, damn it.
The worst
I'm like, please,
combination.
God, no. He's probably sitting in the background going, "I fix you all up." Yeah, no, thanks, bud. We appreciate it. Really.
I bet he's making putting those tracks together, going, Feisar's really gonna hate this. Let's put it in.
Yeah.
I can see him now.
Gimbals just no. I want to throw his gimbals. So we're just gonna kill his controller once and for all. So thank you again, buddy. We do appreciate it. There have been some great tracks. So,
Yeah.
But we'll check in with him a bit later on, I think, once again, and see how he's going in the world.
Yeah, man. We'll have to. It's gonna be interesting for the community, for the webcast, as to how we move forward this year. Obviously, we're gonna follow the DCL and all that kind of stuff, but we've always really been about engaging with community and getting, offering a platform and a spotlight for people that kind of fly under the radar a little bit. You know, I mean, look at we've had Lil on, we've had Gundren on, we've had Pressure on. Like, these are all big names within the community, but not necessarily. These guys don't necessarily have a big platform to work from.
Yeah, and not in FPV on the same type of level as your Keepies and your Glens and your
or your Mr. Steels and your Ladribs and your.
It's not that their contribution is any more or less, in my view. Everybody that contributes, I think, has got a story to tell and has got a contribution to be made, and that's what we are all about, is the contribution in the community. So yeah, bring it on. I reckon for everybody that's interested, hit us up. We want to hear from you and your experiences and everything like that. So it's the same as we were supposed to have Filippo on, but as you can understand, he's had some other.
He's otherwise committed.
Absolutely, but
and
you know what?
So.
It's and it's all about community. It's all about everybody's contribution too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's about
awesome.
It's about us giving back to you guys. I think really more than anything else. Like, I can go on Facebook and I know that there's going to be something cool in the community feed, and I know I've got something to watch. So it's great, and it's great to have a platform like this that we can really kind of sing the praises of a lot of different people all around the world, and that's just it's super cool that we get to do this. So I'm excited for the coming year. I think it's gonna be really interesting, and like you say, we don't need to focus necessarily 100% on DCL. We can branch out to all kinds of everything, and it'll be interesting to see where it takes us for the year.
Absolutely. And if you guys out there want us to focus on something or something obscure you want us to have a look at and whatever else, definitely drop it in the comments. We read all the comments. I might be a little slow on catching up on all the comments, but it's not that we don't care. I will catch up with them all. Guarantee it. Just been a little bit preoccupied with everything that's APEX been throwing at us lately. But we definitely care. We definitely love your contributions and everything else. So yeah, chuck them in there, and it will bring you whatever you guys want to see and talk about. So yeah, awesome. So we have a couple of talking about that. Make sure you go and check out the APEX Community Facebook page on Facebook for all your FPV and APEX videos. There's some awesome videos that have been coming out of Rafn-Fpv from a DJ gig he did recently. Holdex FPV has been chasing people around with a cinematic drone where they're going for a jog. And there's some awesome videos from everyone else down there. So we'll keep you up to date on that. So
Keepy's race practice footy. Wow.
Yeah. And
he went with
Andreas again.
Yeah, when I met with Andreas. That was so sick. That track that they got set up there, man, was so cool. Like that mad envy.
Oh no. Just for a rando track, it's just like, wow, you just gotta pull this one out of your proverbial.
And Marc as well. He said he was gonna put a gravity gate in, and he put a damn gravity gate in. I see you.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're up to. Definitely check out the community, guys, and drop your videos in there also. And speaking of such, we have got 2 community videos this month. One from Nerdberg. FPV. Nerdberg. If I do it with a weird accent, I can get it out and it sounds funny. But
you have a weird accent.
Great. I'll get out of here. Coming from you, Mongolian Mongolians, I don't know. Anyway, and we've also got Nitro FPV ripping around in the Swiss hills when he was away on Easter break. So make sure you check them out and definitely enjoy them. And we're going to leave a link to both of those guys down the bottom. And thanks
all
for your
the
support,
socials, all the usual.
Guys. Yeah, and definitely. And I think on that note, we'll definitely be wrapping it up for the episode. So thank you very much, guys, for checking in. Make sure you definitely check out all the links and everything that we've spoken about down below. Check out the community page. Check out the APEX community merchandise page with all your community merch and all your APEX merch over at apexcommunity.com, apexdroneracing.com. Jeez. We've got so many .coms going on. We've got so many everything going on. And we have a special guest.
We do have a special
He's
guest.
Made it. The special guest is in the room. He's made it. Last month it was my special guest. Now it's your special guest.
I know. Anything to stop him balking.
maybe he can say, FLYAPEX. Are we getting to say FLYAPEX? Yeah. All right. Until next time, guys. Fly safe.
Fly fast.
FLYAPEX.
Catch you guys in the next one.
Later, guys. See ya.